we're going to do bone-in chicken today. So it's going to put a few people off because they don't like chicken and bones and all that sort of stuff. But I guess you're going to switch off at that point, but don't, because it's so much cheaper to buy a chicken like this. So you got your chicken. The poor little bugger runs around like this, and he's always served upside down. So you have a whole chicken, and a whole chicken is about anything from sort of £3.50 to £6, depending on, you know, where you want to go with it. This is a nice barn chicken, so he was very happy. And what we're going to do is going to turn it over to the side, and I'm going to show you how to take the legs off it, turn it into a crown. So perfect if you're doing turkey at Christmas. So same process with the chicken as with the turkey. And I always do this at Christmas time. So you can see a little bit of flappy skin there. We're just going to cut through that with a very sharp knife or a boning knife. And then here you've got an oyster. That's called the oyster. That's a lovely piece of meat, and we don't want to waste that. So we're just going to go right in there and get that out. So trying to keep the bone on the carcass and the meat on the leg. Now this is the horrible bit. We're going to have to snap it back a bit. Snap it back and just cut through that ball joint there. I'm just going to cut right through there, all the way through. And we've got our legs off. I'll show you what to do with that in a little bit. So that's one leg off. Turn it around on the other side. Again, the other thing I'm doing is I'm using a board that I just use for raw meat as well. So I'm keeping nice and health and safety, all that sort of stuff. And then down there, again, round with the oyster, like that. And then snap it back and straight off with the leg. If this is wobbling around a bit, just put a wet J cloth underneath it and it will make it stay. So that's the other leg off. Now you've got your nice crown there, your turkey breasts. Just to show you how to do a Christmas turkey, I would just use the crown. So I would just go down there like that and just snap that back and take that section off and use that for a stock. That makes a beautiful jus, beautiful gravy, jus gravy. And that's your crown. So if you were to use this at Christmas, you would just loosen up this skin underneath here, and you put a lovely herb butter underneath there, or marinate it with some lovely spices, some lovely salt, mustard, honey, lemon, orange, mandarin, whatever you fancy. So you just loosen that skin, shove some butter underneath there, and then just roast that. I tend to roast mine on a bed of vegetables with sometimes a pint of beer or some wine, or just water is fine as well. And that creates a steam around it and makes it nice and moist as well. Now if we were to take the breasts off this, we just go down this natural line we've got here, go one side of it, and it will just fall one side of the carcass all the way down. Trying to keep as much meat on the breast as possible, and as much bone on the carcass. And then you've got another ball joint there. You're just gonna go through that, and you've got a breast. Now excuse the pun, but look how big my breasts are. They are massive. And this is just a medium chicken. Now when you go to the supermarket, they take off this bit, they take off the wing, and that's just a simple slice down the middle. If you wanted your wings into two, I hate that when you go and get wings somewhere and they say it's a wing and just half a wing. That is annoying. So you can take off the tip just by going through that ball joint there, snap it through, stock, and then you go through that bit as well. You can almost feel it down there. Your knife will feel away. So you've got two bits of your wing there. And then supermarkets often does not take off this bit as well, which is the fillet. And then they just serve you that bit. So they sell you two of those, the same price as a whole chicken, basically. If ever you want to take the skin off, that just comes off so easy. And you can freeze these, and then you can do chicken crisps if you fancy, if you're that way inclined. Or don't put it in a stock pot, just keep those separate. If ever you wanted to stuff a chicken breast, what we do is we just slice it that way and then slice it this way. So you're making like a little pocket in there, and we could stuff that with something like stuffing. Here's some stuffing I made earlier. You can see that being made as well. That's on another clip. So you put some stuffing in there, and making that little pocket in there means that you can stuff it more. And then you can use this fillet that you've got here by just banging down with the heel of your hand, squashing that out a little bit, and then you just tuck that in. And then you've got a lovely stuffed breast. Lovely big stuffed breast. The other thing you could do with it as well, if you wanted to make it even more fancy, is wrap it in Parma ham or wrap it in streaky bacon. So you've got a piece of streaky bacon here. I'm trying to do this one-handed. It's very hard. I don't want to get chicken on my other hand. I always say I've got chicken hands then, and then you have to wash them. So if you just rub that a little bit with the back of your knife, it just stretches it out. So you can put it like that, wrap it one way, wrap it the other, and you've got a lovely piece of, I've done that really quick, haven't I? But you've got a lovely piece of chicken. Beautiful. So I will put that there. That's yummy. And the other side, just repeat. So straight down with your knife, all the way through. You just have to come this side of the wishbone. Make sure you've got all these bones here. Just cut all the way through them. Straight down till you get to that ball joint and straight off, and then you've got your whole breast. Now, often as not, unless you go to the butcher's, you can't get a whole chicken which has the wing on it as well, and that roasts so lovely and tastes so delicious because the flavour is in the bone. Huge amounts of flavour there. Carcass in there. And then, so a couple of things I'm going to show you. We'll get our legs back out. One, how easy it is just to remove the thigh and the drumstick. Straight down that line that's already there. Just follow that line down and that will take you straight through that joint. And then you've got your drumstick and you've got your thigh. If ever you wanted to take the bone out of the thigh, just go either side of the meat, either side of the bone, sorry, and then up and over, and you can take it out. You can scrape it down if you want to and get more off, and just cut round it, whatever you fancy. Again, stock pot, and you've got your boned thigh and your drumstick. Now, going a little bit further, if you wanted to do like a stuffing piece of meat, you just take this bone out. So you just go either side of the bone, get underneath, and then wrap it up, technical term. And then you have to fiddle around a little bit. You just have to go round it, and then you have to sort of try and get that off. And it will do, if you fiddle around enough, it'll just come off. Stock pot, and then you've got your whole piece of leg, which you can then stuff with the stuffing that we made earlier, in there like that. Fold it round that way. So when you roast it, it looks like a leg, but when you slice into it, you've got that lovely stuffing going through that bit. There you go. So that's the whole chicken, bones and rolled. Sorry, not bones and rolled, bones. So you've got your breasts, with your wing on. You've got your winglets, which we took off, and we've got our legs that we either removed into our thigh and our drumstick or made them into the French style, which is for stuffing. I've got another chicken here, and I'm going to show you how to bone and roll the whole thing, which I love doing at Christmas, and putting all that stuffing in it is delicious. This is really hard, but you can do it if you fiddle around a bit. First thing you need to do is turn it upside down. The next thing you need to do is take out this line here that you've got here. So what we're going to do is go either side of the parson's nose. That's a nice piece of meat as well. So we're going to come that side of the parson's nose, and we're going to come this side of the parson's nose. Again, nice for a stock pot. And it will come out. Trust me, I'm a chef. Shove it in. So now we've got a big old bit of meat that we need to now get that carcass out and keep the meat over there. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get the breast out. So I'm going to go down this side of the carcass. Now I do need to make sure I cut through here and get the wing out. So I just need to go in there and get the wing out. It's a bit of fiddling. It is a bit of fiddling, but you can do it. Sharp knife obviously helps. It's all the way down there. And then we're going to do the other side. Again, coming down this side of the carcass. I'm going to leave I'm just going to cut that little bit around there. That's where that's where you've got your leg. So I just want to keep that side. We're just getting the breasts out at the moment. And we need to get this wing out. So we're just going to go through the wing. There we go. And then through here. I made a bit of a mess of this, but that's okay. The pressure, the pressure. Right, where are we? There's the carcass. So we're at the top of the carcass now. So I've got it round one side, I've got it round the other side. So I kind of need to go underneath and just pull that off really. That's all I need to do. You can see where you get kind of stung up sometimes because that's the wishbone. So you get that out, put that in there. It's not too bad. A little bit hacked there, but that's okay. So now we've got our middle section off. We need to get our legs off as well. I sometimes keep the wings on, but you can take the wings off. If you're going to do it properly, you just cut round them. That's all you do. Just take them off like that. Boom, boom. That's done. So we've now got everything boned apart from our legs. So we're going to go in first with the thigh section. And we're going to go like we did before. We're just going to go round that bone. So I might have to move this round a little bit. Up and over, bring it down. And then, once we've got that out, we can save all this meat, we can trim that and put that back in. We're going to go into the drumstick. So we're going to go either side of the drumstick with your sharp knife. Once you go either side of that bone, you can get underneath it and you can just pull it out. Let's pull these up a bit. Don't want that chicken carcass on my jumper. Right, down we go. It's a little bit sinewy, but that's all good. We can sort that all out once we've done it. So all the way round and all the way up. So chicken stock. If there's any lumps of fat, we can just take those out as well. Get rid of those. So I'm just going to do the same the other side. I've got a little bit of carcass on here, so I'm just going to chop that out as well. Here's my bone. Where's he gone? There he is. We can obviously fast forward this bit, can't we? Right, ta-da. So we've got all our bones out of there. So there might be the odd little bit of knuckle or something we just want to trim, any bits of fat that you want to take out, any little bits obviously. More the hard bits we don't want, so I've got a few little bits there. We're just going to trim those off. Make sure there's nothing hard in there. So we've got our legs part there, our leg part there, and we've got our breast here. Now what I tend to do is I take the fillet off and I tend to put it in between the legs and the breast. So I just pull that off and put it in between there. Now, because this is quite thick, I sometimes just tend to just overlap that a little bit as well. That way you've got a nice piece of meat there. And then I'm going to use my stuffing and I'm just going to spread it all through the middle. I'm going to nick this bit of stuffing from this, don't tell anyone. So you could stuff it with couscous, you could stuff it with rice, you could do the sausage meat stuffing that we've got here. You can put all other flavours in it as well. You can also stuff it with cheese, just grated cheese and put cheese through it, assumingly, pretending that I've got a little bit more stuff in there, because the rest of it's in the oven cooking. And then you're just going to roll it round. So imagine it's got a lovely layer of stuff in, and then we're just going to fold it round. So we're going to start from one side and move to the other. So all the way round like this, all the way round, and then up and over. And as you can see, you're back to the chicken, looking like a chicken. So when that cooks, you're going to be able to slice it up. It's going to have that lovely dark meat and white meat, but also that lovely stuffing through it as well. So I just need to get some string. Just going to get some bits of string. I hope there's no butchers out there watching this. A few bits of string, so we're ready. That way I'm not putting a load of chicken bits on there. Just put it through like that, and I like to just wrap it, tie it with a knot. And that usually holds itself in. If it doesn't, I just flip it round and just do it again, and then just cut it off. There's all different ways to string. Proper butcher's knot and all that sort of stuff that I learnt at college. Don't use it anymore, I've forgotten. So tie it up, bring it round. I tend to just flip it under, just to hold it in place, and just cut it off. Again, probably do about 5 of these is a good idea. Fast forward this bit as well. Lovely. I reckon that'll do actually. Forget that bit, who cares? So nice and tied together, that's going to roast lovely. Just need to make sure that's cooked in the middle, because you're going to have raw chicken in the middle, so it needs an extra lot of cooking. What I tend to do, if I'm doing this for Christmas, or sometimes I do it with the legs as well, wrap it in tin foil first, nice bit of marinade on top, loads of butter, some herbs, some spices on there, wrap it in tin foil, bake it in the oven for about 45 minutes, and then take it out and let it finish off until it reaches sort of 75 in the middle. And that's it, there's your boned chicken. Or if you want a turkey or a goose at Christmas, then you can do the same method on those. So either way, often as not, I'll do my crown at Christmas, and then I'll bone and roll the legs out. So like we did in there, I'll just take that extra little bone out, and then I'll stuff the whole thing and roll it up the same way as this. That's really delicious too. But whatever you fancy, you know how to do it all now. You've learnt it all. There you go.